Наконец-то мы можем продолжить. Меня не было несколько дней. Да и сегодня вряд ли получится долго посидеть, но мы продвинемся все-таки по квестам. Так, я здесь, потому что я хотел зайти и купить плеер.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Это не здесь. Это вот тут.
The boomboxes wait on the shelves, and your boombox, that gold and amber Harman Waushi, stares at you longingly with its tape reel eyes.
Я хочу купить этот магнитофон. Сколько он стоит? 12? Нормально. У меня откуда-то почему-то денег много взялось.
And here you are. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything, wherever. Turn any tape into a conversation of sounds and shapes.
Какое описание? Так. Проигрыватель Herman в уши. Как мне его использовать, в руку вставить? Судя по всему. У меня был этот... Нет, не пустая катушка. У меня же была какая-то не пустая катушка, а катушка с музыкой. Вот это вот.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reel's attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader.
Прослушаем.
You press the large button marked Commencer, and the tape starts spinning. There's a small delay before the song starts playing.
Прижать ухо к динамику.
It sounds like someone's moving in the room, getting comfortable. Then the organ starts playing a simple, melancholic tune echoing in the hallway. A lone singing voice joins in, telling you about the tiniest church in Sessongs, surrounded by even tinier yard. You almost feel the seaside mist on your skin. It's mega sad. Within seconds you know this is the one, the real shit you've been looking for. The one you trust your room to. This one tells it like it is. This is your tune. A click, then silence for a bit. Then the tape stops spinning.
Смогу ли я спеть это под караоке? Думаю, смогу.
Of course you could sing this. You could take sad to a whole new level with this. And you already know the lyrics since you've listened to it like a million times. Yup, they're all here. All 3 verses. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world itself is telling you to do it. Only one obstacle stands on your way.
Какое?
Gart. You have to convince Gart to let you sing karaoke in the whirling. After
всё
you've won him
добьёмся.
over, you can express yourself. Let the pain out. Make everyone understand. The lieutenant looks at you as you remove the tape from the boombox. He doesn't say anything.
Да, читательский билет. Так, еще мне надо было бы вот тут уточнить. Надо позвонить, короче.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Взять рацию.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Из МПС ответили что-нибудь про серийный номер?
Yes. The armor was produced by Fairweather in their facilities in Bétancourt, sur la Clé in 42. It was part of a special order for Corps de Pharmacie, a security firm contracted to protect the interests of Oranese pharmaceutical companies in the Seminine conflict. So, it seems the armor went to Seminine. That's where the paper trail ends, though. Even the firm has proven difficult to track. Corps de Pharmacie has been renamed several times over in the years since the armor was issued.
Подозреваю одно из их названий Кренель.
Yes, that is the most recent name the ACP has been able to connect to the CDP. And the one before it was Downwell. I also have one called Sediment, but I think that might be a different contractor. No, they were called Sediment. And Somatosensor, it seems. All that during the last 9 years.
Armor like this isn't mass-produced. It would have probably been fitted. Perhaps there's a record of who signed for this particular suit of armor.
Подобную броню подгоняют под конкретного человека. Должна была сохраниться запись о том, кому ее выдали.
Yes, but the ICP tends to be reluctant to share private sector records. I could try to talk them into it, though.
Постарайтесь, пожалуйста. Очень важно выяснить, кому принадлежала эта броня.
Sure. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully I will have more information for
Опять
you
завтра.
then.
Опять завтра. Так, библиотека мне для чего? Соедини меня с публичной библиотекой Джембрака, кстати говоря.
Hold on, officer. I've got Central Jamrock Public Library on the line, and I've already introduced you to their librarian. Connecting the call in 2, 1.
Yes, this is Central Jamrock Public Library here. How can I help you, officer?
Я хотел бы получить любую информацию, какую возможно, о вашем читателе по имени Билли Межан.
Billy Majan, you said?
Межан.
Give me a moment, I'll have to check our database. Yes, hello, are you still there? I found Billy Majan's home address, is that alright? No phone number, unfortunately.
Да, адреса достаточно.
Here we go, sir. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33B, apartment number 20. It's in Martinez, I believe. Capeside Apartments, it says. That's all.
That's where the smoker on the balcony lives, isn't it?
Да? Вам известно еще что-нибудь о Билли?
It says here that they returned their last book just a few days ago, but I wasn't at work that day.
А вы знаете кого-нибудь, кто работал?
Marie? Marie? Do you remember a reader named Billy Majan? They returned a Tybalt book the other day. Yes, it was my colleague Marie. She said that it was Billy's husband who returned the book. He also asked for this new sci-fi release, Lowe's Radio City 87, but we don't have it yet.
То есть читает не он, а жена. Ее зовут Билли. То есть Билли Межан это женщина, не мужчина. Откуда ваша коллега знает, что это был ее муж?
Marie knows Billy. She's been working here longer than me. Sometimes her husband returns some books for her.
Знаете имя мужа?
Sorry, no. Marie only knows him by sight.
Мари может описать, как выглядел этот муж?
Marie? She said it was an older man, and that she's pretty sure he'd had a drink or two the last time she saw him.
А во что он был одет?
1 second. Sorry, Marie wasn't really paying any attention to that.
Ну, спасибо, у меня все, других вопросов нет.
Happy we could help. Goodbye, officer.
Anything else you need from me?
Так, мне надо сообщить участку, что я вообще-то уже нашел свое удостоверение и все нормально. Алиса, это огнеходец. Соедини меня с 41-м еще раз.
Right. Please hold.
10-4, come in. Fireworker, over.
Рад доложить, что нашел свое удостоверение, Жюль.
10-4, sir, glad to hear that. I'll write down that there is no need to issue a new one to you then. Over.
Feels good to get that off your chest, right? Celebration with beer?
А что личное, я хочу с ним обсудить. Пока у меня все.
Roger that, 10-10, over and out.
Так. Звонить, что мы нашли труп, будем или нет? Давай.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Мне нужно сообщить о трупе на пирсе Мартинеза.
One moment. Can you please describe the body? Age, sex, cause of death?
Неопознанный мужчина средних лет, рост 170-175 сантиметров, темные волосы, средняя комплекция. Судя по всему, он поскользнулся, провалился в дыру в пирсе и ударился головой о металлическую скамью.
We suspect he might have been inebriated when he fell. There were bottles all around him and traces of vomit on his shirt.
Any signs of violence?
Нет, кажется, это несчастный случай.
No field autopsy necessary.
You can hear her quickly typing in the background.
What about his belongings? Did you examine his clothes?
На нем были сапоги, брюки и старая кожаная куртка с ярко-голубой подкладкой. В кармане я нашел читательский билет.
Any information on the library card?
Он из Центральной публичной библиотеки Джемрока. Владелец некто Билли Межан. Не некто, а скорее всего его жена.
Good. You have a lead. Do you and Lieutenant Kitsuragi want to take the case, or should I assign it to someone else?
Мы возьмем дело сами.
I have assigned the case to Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Please follow up on this library lead to identify the man. We'll send someone to take the body to the morgue. That's all for now. Thank you for reporting in. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Окей, на данный момент все.
57th, over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers, a radio on a hook, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Почему я вообще об этом думаю? Разве мне не нужно...
Do something important? Something murder-related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery. This is a Caprice Kanema, the Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful workhorse, Caprice 40, and the answer to the Lum's racing breed, Ferv series. With its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine, driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox, the Kanema is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds and go on to a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour.
Неплохо, это как Жигули, ебать. До 100 километров за 13 секунд и разгоняются до 180 километров в час. Какие-то годы или это типа вымышленное время? Тут говорилось о 50-х, но 50-е реально 50-е? Или это вымышленные 50-е? Она не опрокинется на первом резком повороте.
The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the Kanema effectively a mobile power plant.
Люблю разговоры о технике. Кайф.
Due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery.
Эта машина настоящий демон скорости. Очень круто.
Mm-hmm. You want to take a closer look?
Не знаю, к чему это все, блядь. Что мы тут умеем?
130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there.
Значит, это 7-литровый V12. Ничего себе, эта малышка макаронит. Не надо выпендриться, типа я знаток. Значит, это 7-литровый V12.
7.2. Supercharged.
А что здесь издавало тот адский звук, который меня разбудил?
You mean the coil noise?
Что еще за шум от катушек?
When variable current passes through wires that make up the coils on the electrical system on this machine, it causes vibration in the wires and the cores of the coils. When the frequency of the current in the coils falls within the audible range, the resulting vibration creates the whiny sound you mentioned.
Ага, именно так я и думал.
Of course.
The human lie detector.
Славная машина.
Yes. An extraordinary machine.
It's nice and all, but why so modest? Put some zing into it. Flare it up. Slam it down. It's a bit girly right now. Fit it with some proper off-road components.
Тебе нужно заделать ее так, чтобы все упали, Ким. Добавить ей злости.
Sorry, I'm not following you.
Lingo it up.
Занизить бы эту тачку на стольник другой миллиметров. Загнать изгиб в минуса.
No, that's porno tuning.
Погоди, а как же твои колпаки, а?
Those spinners were elegant, sleek, radiant even. What you're suggesting is porno.
Чего?
Porno. That's short for pornography.
The sole purpose of pornography is to stimulate one's visual sense to evoke sexual arousal. The same is true with the modifications you're proposing.
Так, и что? Что плохого в порнографии?
That's a negative on the porno. Thank you, though.
Ладно, идем. Так. Чё у меня? Мыслей пока новых нет, да? Так, узнайте информацию. Это завтра опять звоните ей. Труп на пирсе. Отправляйтесь в квартиру 20, чтобы поговорить с женой. Доложите ей, что... Фух. Так, ну сначала поговорим с Гартом. Гарт, я тебе подарок принес. Вчерашнее меню написано женским почерком. Сегодня начал писать мужчина. А это кто? Кстати, муж-то пришел. Мне надо еще сообщить ему, да.
It's great to see you again, officer. My wife can't wait to thank you. Go on, talk to her.
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you.
Да я и сам уже своего рода криптозоолог.
I knew it.
Well, in that case, sweetie, let me give you a small token of my gratitude. It's a tie, Mesk in origin. The pin is an antique, quite special to the cryptozoological community.
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of an avian skull with 8 eyes. You could ask her about this when you get the time. It's probably a cryptid, but the phasmid, of course, is more important.
А вы не говорили мне, что видели фазмида?
Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's ramblings.
Ramblings? Nonsense. Your description of the phasmid is the most precise I've ever heard.
But, darling, I didn't even get the size of it right.
You were a child, my dear. Really. It's extraordinary what you were able to describe. Now go on. Tell our friend about it. He's proven his interest in the field.
Reflexively, the lieutenant read his familiar notebook.
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When, all of a sudden...
Стоп, где это произошло и сколько вам тогда было лет?
I'm getting ahead of myself. I was 5.5 in Betancourt in the suburbs. My grandmother had a summer home there.
Betancourt got bombed in the war. It used to be quite near, circa 20 kilometers from here.
Что случилось?
The strangest moment of my life. I looked up and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique toy. I've never seen anything like it. I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me. After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left, went into the reeds.
Вы пошли следом?
I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there, knee-deep in mud, looking around me.
А потом?
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing. Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel.
We were on a date. Can you imagine? She tells me a story, and it's the most detailed report of the Insulindian phasmid I've ever heard. The sounds. She told me it hissed.
It did, yes. Like reeds in a gust of wind.
The way it moved, the colour, how some of its limbs were white, like marble. It matched perfectly with what I know from other accounts. It was amazing. If it weren't for Lena, I might have given up hope years ago. It's no exaggeration to say that she restored my faith in my profession.
Вы были на свидании?
Our first, yes.
The glance is tender, yes, but tempered by something else. A thought she can't express, even to him. Interesting.
У него белые конечности?
Not all of them. There is some white coloration reported, along with beige, where the camouflage ends.
Он был большим?
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I was then, but that's probably not the case.
Ким, что скажешь?
I thought it was a wonderful story, ma'am.
Ну, спасибо, что поделились.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one. It was just such an impossibly sunshiny day. So warm.
Может, удастся убедить ее рассказать про крутых криптидов?
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work. Go on and ask.
Лена, я бы хотел узнать о кое-каких криптидах, которых вы изучали. Могли бы вы рассказать о парочке?
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too.
One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza.
Ладно, Ким. Один маленький криптидик, клянусь.
He nods and assumes a waiting posture. Cryptids, cryptids. Let's hear about all the interesting cryptids. Ooh, tough choice there.
А эта птица тоже какой-то криптид?
No, it's the cryptid.
Ого-го. Самый главный криптид?
Oh, yes.
Так, и что же это за птица?
The eight-eyed teratorn, the largest flying avian ever discovered, with a wingspan of 11.5 meters. It was thought to have gone extinct 3,500 years ago. Some even doubted the fossils were real. A mutation, they said. Until...
Mutation? All of evolution is a mutation.
Потом...
Until it was cited by renowned Gottwaldian explorer and naturalist Uwe Plattenkalk in 21.
This renown seems a bit dubious. Your own catalogue comes up completely empty. But, of course, you are not all-knowing.
Расскажите подробнее о том, как он его увидел.
It happened on a botanical expedition into the vast and unexplored Oamrao Canyon in southeast Ilmara. Dr. Plottenkalk got separated from his group during a sandstorm.
Так, Уамрао. Так, а Уамрао это...
The world's largest canyon system, sweetie. It's a barren waste east of the Erg Desert, an ancient riverbed completely dried up.
И что случилось?
Alone in the blasted desert heat, the doctor wandered eastward, where man hasn't stepped foot in over 1,000 years, since the fall of Pericarnassus. He was lost, without any navigation equipment, and desperately low on water. After a day or two, he noticed a bird high in the noon sky. A great black bird. It seemed gargantuan. Every now and then, the bird would dive down to feed on an animal carcass somewhere on the horizon. But by the time Uva got there, the Teratorn had taken off already, and the carcass was picked clean. This happened many times.
Он следовал за птицей?
Yes, or rather, hunting. A bird that big has a lot of blood in it, and he was dying of thirst. For many days, Dr. Plottenkalk followed the Teratorn until they reached a great canyon wall where the bird finally landed to rest. The professor climbed up there with a rock in his hand. He found the bird sleeping with his head tucked under its wing, a great black pile of feathers on the perch. So he approached, slowly squeezing the rock in his fist.
Watch out.
Then the Teratorn suddenly looked at him. He could see it had 8 eyes, 4 on either side of its skull, like a spider. And the man couldn't move. He was paralyzed, frozen into place with the rock in his hand. Whatever he did, he could not get closer to the bird.
Почему?
The bird was controlling his mind. It kept him from approaching. He could step back, but every time he stepped forward, paralysis. Uva spent 3 days trying until the bird flew away.
Заебись. Стоп, а как он сумел выжить и все это рассказать?
The 8-eyed Teratorn was indifferent to him, as long as he didn't get closer than 2 steps. It even let him feed on some carcasses up there, and the 2 unfertilized eggs it left behind.
Восьмиглазая птица, способная управлять разумом? Заебись.
Absolutely, sweetie. Cryptozoologists have been tracing it ever since, but Wamrao is vast, mysterious, and holds many secrets.
Modern radar telemetry shows great promise. We will confirm this one by the end of the decade, latest.
This one I liked. Not only does it have 8 eyes, and is a living fossil, and the largest bird ever to live, it also does mind control.
Это была последняя встреча с ним?
Sadly, yes. But there are numerous reports of 8-eyed bird skulls from Ilmara. And then there's the striking resemblance to the Pericarnassian imperial eagle, an ancient heraldic symbol that is hard to pass off as coincidence. The imperial eagle, too, had 8 eyes.
Not really. It's just stylization. The way they drew eyes. It's not a zoological drawing.
very, very hard.
This one's very famous. Everyone knows it. People will be looking at that tie on you and thinking, that man is into crypt. What else do you want to know?
Какой криптид самый большой?
That would be the giant of Kokonur. The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Kokonur desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes.
Стоп, каким странным сиянием?
Mirage or a psychogenous luminance.
И насколько же велик этот великан?
No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision.
Он опасный?
The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a fata morgana, others, fate unimaginable.
Who are you? No animal can be that large. It's a mirage.
That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Kokonur must be the largest animal the planet can support. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Kokonur desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes.
Gravity anomaly? Digging it. Digging this parascientific stuff right here.
Ладно, а какой криптид самый маленький, наоборот?
Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid.
Ну, Ким, неужто ты сам не хочешь еще послушать про криптидов?
The lieutenant pauses, thoughtfully.
Fuck it. Let's have more cryptids.
Well, the smallest cryptid is the Cryobacter catlensis, a unicellular bacterium. It was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Katla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago.
И чем она примечательна?
The bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate. Certainly from before recorded history. Mijanou disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study, no doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life.
Стоп, она себе ее вколола?
Yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea.
It's actually a little hard to see. But do go on.
То есть где-то в мире бродит бессмертный геолог?
Yes, and she's quite mad too. After she treated herself with the bacteria, she stopped aging, but also became increasingly eccentric and irascible, so that even her oldest friends were forced to pull away. We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for decades now, all alone except for the Cryobacter catlensis coursing through her bloodstream.
Так, ладно, какой криптид самый опасный?
The gnome of Jeroma.
Жеромский гном? Звучит не слишком страшно.
Oh, it is. None of its victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue.
А на что этот криптид был похож?
It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a ungainly little thing. quite scary to look at. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it. It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die.
If the body of the creature was found, why aren't there detailed illustrations of it in science textbooks, confirming the existence of these very little species?
Alas, the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
Так. Бывают невидимые криптиды?
What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, there are.
Конечно.
Of course. All fairy tales have someone or something invisible in them.
Цицким. Она вот-вот расскажет мне про невидимую криптида. Так что это за зверь?
It's the Coldamama Dakwa. Its name means thin whisper of sound, and that's precisely what it is. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. The Coldamama is very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track.
Coldamama Dakwa can also be translated as a whisper light and low.
Шепот тихо шелестящий.
Yes, that's another translation. They're both quite lovely, aren't they? Although the low part is a little ironic. The Coldamama Dakwa makes, or rather is, such a high-pitched sound that other animals, including humans, can't hear it. It could be everywhere all of the time, and we wouldn't know.
Fine, I'll bite. How can an animal be a sound?
Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory.
А он может быть здесь?
It could be. As I said, it could be everywhere. And we wouldn't know any better. It could be ringing all the days of our lives and nights.
Какие есть свидетельства того, что эти животные состоят из звука?
Plenty. It's the evidence that led to its discovery. In the 1920s, a group of areopagite ornithologists, that is, scientists who study birds, were trying out a new recording technology for capturing sounds outside the range of human hearing.
Так. Кажется, будто бы я задумываюсь или читаю долго. На самом деле я засыпаю. Меня дико рубит, потому что я в последние дни очень мало сплю. Так. протестировала технологию, позволяющую записывать звуки, недоступные человеческому слуху.
When playing back recordings they had made in the foothills of the Ea mountain range, they noticed certain anomalies, patterns that seemed random at first, but on closer examination were consistent with the waveforms of songbirds.
Кивнем.
The scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict what appeared to be feeding, mating, and migration patterns based on sound waves in a strictly delimited range of ultrasonic frequencies, even higher than those of the highest pitched bat calls. They realized that they had discovered a new species and called it the Koldumamadakwa, after the Paracanassian name for the voice of God, which is said to be very silent.
Ух ты.
They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Even though they couldn't see them, they could distinguish among individual birds and even began to name some of them.
Имена.
Sequester, Time, Joscan, those are but some of the Mamadakwa they followed individually.
А почему Мамадаква так нас боятся?
That is a sad story. A group of university students assisting with the field work in their enthusiasm for the project, and no doubt because they were preoccupied with impressing their professors, nearly drove it to extinction.
Почти вымерло.
They tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound. So they started sending out sound waves at frequencies they thought might match the Mamadakwas. And what happens when a sound wave meets another sound wave of the same frequency, dear?
Psst. They cancel each other out. Psst.
Они гасят друг друга.
Exactly. And these tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right frequency, well, they wiped out most of the population. After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere. There have been recordings of anomalies similar to those spotted in Ea, but they've been few and far between. It's impossible to confirm the presence of any stable Koltumamadakwa population anywhere.
Of course, a common thread in these. Disappearance and unfalsifiability. I like the story, though, ma'am.
I'm glad you did, dear.
Интересно, а что насчет...
What about what?
Да вроде уже все обсудил. Это было познавательно, но, увы, надо обсудить кое-что другое.
Of course, dear.
Я уже все узнал. У меня пока что все. +1 внутренняя империя, +1 сила воли. А что у меня за галстук? +2 драма. Давай наденем тот. А вы кто?
I really owe you one for getting us out of those reeds, officer. Finally got all that soot out of my hair. Name's Gary. Yellow Man. I mean, officer.
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows slightly and takes out his notebook. Yellow man. That sounds awfully familiar. Something to ask about later?
Ты небольшой фанат прогулок, да?
I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
This man respects authority too much to see you for what you are. Pretend thou art a sober man.
Ну, если он так хочет, если мне так предлагает, мое внутреннее я. Про меня такого не скажешь. Уж в этом я тебя заверяю. Я трезвый, как стеклышко, строго уставной, абсолютно не пьющий хранитель правопорядка. Алкоголь меня вовсе не интересует.
I've been tempted on occasion, but someone has to stay strong for Revocall.
Serious question time. This man is no innocent. No one is.
Ты знаешь что-нибудь о повешенном за танцами в тряпье?
Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about. Great. Great to hear someone's finally taking care of that.
So you do know something about it?
No. Nothing. He was some kind of mercenary. But everyone here knows that. I'm just glad to hear you're looking into it. That's all.
He didn't kill him or anything, but there's something going on here.
Тебя удивил мой коллега, лейтенант Кицураги.
Not many Sealites here, or anywhere, other than Sail. I meant no offense, truly.
Лейтенант уроженец Ревашоля.
Oh, yes. Of course he is. I was just speaking about his connections. Let's change the subject, okay?
Окей. Это твоя кружка, расист.
My mug? Why would you think that?
Я же вижу, что ты ее узнаешь. По глазам ясно.
I may have had a similar-looking mug in the past. That's all.
Ладно, верю. Ты похож на человека, который знает, что врать полицейскому — это преступление.
Okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash container behind the hostel. I know I shouldn't have, and I am very sorry, officer. You're not going to find me, are you?
Да нет, Гарри, мне просто нужна информация.
Whew. Thank you. You won't regret this. I won't use another man's property to dump my garbage ever again. I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been stressful lately. Damn Koiko's price dumping us out of competition.
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing. Just answering some questions. Helping out the law.
Here we go. Start pumping that sweet info.
Как ты пробрался в мусорный бак?
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services, CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers of Martinez.
Зачем тебе лазать ко всем в мусор?
So I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Chimeans run it like a mob. I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have disgraced myself.
Disgraced? No need for the histrionic, sir. It was, after all, just a trash container.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
Гэри, это ты выбросил одежду жертвы, человека, которого повесили за танцами в тряпье, в мусорный бак?
Officer, please. Let me explain. It's not like that.
Ну, объясняй.
I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. People are animals, you know?
Да-да. И что?
Then I came out to clean up the rags because no one else would. I put them into the Whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly. Okay, I was coming to throw the mug away, and, well, I threw the mug there and the clothes too.
Right. It was just civic duty.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Civic duty.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads against one another as they roll across a hardwood floor. You've heard this sound before, but where?
Что это за странный звук?
What sound?
Странное позвякивание. Я его услышал, когда ты пошевелился.
Really? There's lots of weird sounds in a bar like this, though. Pinball, glasses clinking. Could be someone playing pinball.
Тебе часом неизвестно о пропавшей броне жертвы?
Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know he was wearing armor, but I don't know anything about it.
Сука, он присвоил себе часть брони.
An infant could see he's not telling the truth, but he's too scared to admit more wrongdoing.
Может, еще раз попробуем спросить, что это за странный звук?
What sound?
Не умничай, думаю, ты знаешь, о чем я.
I haven't the slightest. There's lots of weird sounds in a bar like this, though. Pinball, glasses clinking.
Ладно,
Could be
пока
someone
он,
playing pinball.
пока он не хочет сознаваться. Ладно, сменим тему пока что.
I hope I could help your investigation, in my small way.
Wait, does this mean you've been in his apartment on Everart's behalf? That was his colonial mug collection. Perhaps this could soften him up further.
Итак, Гэри, ты живешь неподалеку, в квартире в Мартинезе, верно?
Sure do, officer.
His eyes narrow slightly. He's wondering where this is going.
Клэр наверняка очень на тебя зол.
Mr. Everard?
Да, он настоял на том, чтобы я открыл дверь в твою квартиру.
So you work for Everard Clare? Officer, please tell him we're good. No, tell him I'll make it up to him. What have I done? He'll send the muscle after me.
Тема закрыта, Гэри.
Of course, of course. I won't do it again. If there's anything I can do to assist you, or the Union, just ask, okay? I'll try to help if I can.
Броню гони.
This scared him proper. He's positively melting from fear. Has to prop himself up with a lot of anger to keep it together.
The weather vane has turned. He cannot be unturned.
He clearly liked his squirming. He may even have changed his mind about the whole door-opening operation.
Так, ладно, попробуем проанализировать его манеру держать себя.
Is he? He's looking comfortable enough. Maybe it was just beads. Sounded like beads. But what kind of beads might a man like Gary be hiding beneath his clothes?
Пользуешься анальными шариками?
You wouldn't be able to hear if you were wearing anal beads. Please excuse my colleague's humor. Working this murder case is taking a toll on us both. You don't quite have to answer that yet.
Of course, of course.
Ладно, спасибо за содействие. Говнюк. Блин. Так. Слушай, а про ловушки мне не надо сообщать?
Nothing like the gratitude of a good woman. Now then, what can I do for you?
He tries to play it cool, remain professorial, but inside, this man is itching for some news on those traps.
В общем, я проверил все ловушки.
Good. Okay. And?
И одна из них была пустой.
Completely empty?
Да, в ловушке ничего не было. Ни саранчи, ни фазмида.
No locusts? No phasmid either?
That's not ideal, but...
Пустой была ловушка возле вашего лагеря. Может, это как-то связано?
I definitely left that one stocked.
Right from the campsite? Just means the Insulindian phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
Of course, more clever.
Yes, the Phantasmadeia picked off the locusts and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps, make them more secure.
Another trip to the reeds.
Да, и именно это и произошло. Ух, ловок этот фазмид.
Of course. Be sarcastic. Unless you have an alternative hypothesis you'd like to venture, mine stands, okay? Actually, no. Excuse me for getting emotional. This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great news too. My gratitude, and the gratitude of the Société Cryptozoologique de Ravachol, is yours.
Heartfelt gratitude. But does it feel like closure? What really happened?
Thank you, it's an honor. We should probably return to our main investigation here. This has been refreshing, but...
Давайте выработаем альтернативную гипотезу, объясняющую пропажу саранчи.
Consider the way the empty trap was disturbed, as though shaken. Most likely the hands of a young person. Hands small enough to fit inside the trap, too. You should ask the red-headed boy, Kuno.
Я думаю, саранчу мог украсть малолетний хулиган по имени Куно.
A little hooligan. But what would a child want with bugs?
Oh, my dear Morel, you've been an old man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment old folks.
Потолкую с мелким троглодитом. Вдруг что узнаю.
Delinquents, my favorite.
Oh, you've been such a dear to us. Please, let us know whatever you turn up. I have a feeling we're getting so close.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need. I'll see you tonight at my place. Let's play suzerainty, but no more field trips for me.
This is a slippery one. He may respect the law, but mostly wants to pass under the radar. You won't get a chance to talk after you walk out of here. He hasn't been particularly forthcoming before. He may well still be hiding something. After he's left, it's too late.
Что я могу сделать, блин?
Really, Gary? We're getting somewhere here. I'd love to play suzerainty, but...
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was some kids. I know the little mutants around here. Leave anything out in the open and they'll steal it, even if it's bugs. Morel, it's been fun, really, but I need a bath and I have deliveries to handle. When this tea is done, I gotta run.
No need to apologize, Geary. You've been more than helpful. We'll have to take a rain check on that game of suzerainty today, though. We're gonna follow this through.
The first man to break formation is always a blow to leadership. This is bigger than he lets on.
А вы не замечали в вашем друге Гэри ничего необычного?
No. No, of course not. Why?
Точно?
Well, he's been a little unenthusiastic about the trip. More so than usual. But that's understandable. He just wants to get home and warm up.
Ну, я пошел.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
Ладно, увидимся.
Can I help you?
Гард, я нашел в танце новую птицу.
What is this thing?
Пустяк, просто подумал, что рябчик будет тут хорошо смотреться. Такой уж я коп.
What, the interior decorating kind? You know, I'm sorry. This is actually a nice bird. A competent piece of taxidermy. I can fix it to the plaque and have a new bird in the establishment, I guess. So, I don't know. Thank you. I'm gonna go with thank you.
I feel good about our work here today. It's all about the little things, like bringing people random stuffed animals.
Гард, мне нужно спеть под караоке.
No, you don't. It's not happening.
Это мой способ извиниться за все неудобства, что я причинил. Пожалуйста, дай мне возможность это сделать.
By causing more trouble, I think we're good.
Это часть моего путешествия в недра своей души. Помоги мне.
The Whirling's not a charity or a musical therapy clinic.
Блин,
It's a
все равно он
commercial
такой
establishment. You're going to
говнюк.
scare away the customers.
Зачем тебе вообще громкая связь, если ей никто не...
It's for no one. It's a prop. I'm not letting anyone use it after the great karaoke catastrophe of 44.
А что случилось в 44-м?
A lot of people got killed because some arsehole wanted to sing karaoke.
Да, но она не бутафорская, она для клиентов. Я знаю, что она работает.
Okay, yes, it's for some clients.
Я полноценный клиент, я оплатил счета и имею право воспользоваться караоке.
Ha! Well, we don't have any tapes. They all got stolen.
Не беда, моя песня при мне.
The man in the vest and the violet shirt stares at the tape you've just given him. He begins to frown. Hard. This is the look of a man who's defeated. He knows he's out of excuses.
Fine, fine. Climb on that stage and do your thing. Just get out of my hair. I'll plug it in for you. Damn this karaoke machine.
I'm having it uninstalled, he mumbles to himself. Oh yeah, time to do the damage.
Вечером. Не сейчас. Окей. Сколько мы уже прошли, блин, заданий вообще выполнили, в смысле квестов? Что мы еще можем сделать? Так, можем... вот это, кстати, я там не предложил этой женщине подписать. Надо сходить. Правда, я только одну нашел из них. Это мы сможем теперь сделать. Вот, блин, не знаю, как тут что сделать. Это завтра опять, блин. Вот это надо сделать. Надо отправить тело на экспертизу уже. Оно там в холодильнике уже, блин, закоченело все. Сюда тоже надо сходить, в квартиру эту. С Куно поговорить. Не, стой.
Was that? Could it be? The Calder Mama Dakwa? No, it's probably just your imagination ringing in your ear.
Да? Я что-то слышу?
There seems to be. An extremely high-pitched ring. Ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high-pitched, right? It's like something tickles your ear. Honestly, your ear isn't hearing a whole lot. The distant hum of the industrial harbor, the traffic. But, admittedly, there is a high-pitched noise somewhere there too. But then, isn't there always?
Сначала прислушаться.
There it is again. You're about to rediscover a long-lost species.
Слушать дальше.
It must be very close. Maybe, just maybe, it will come toward you.
Погоди, каким? А ты слышишь этот высокий звук?
No, I don't hear the Coldomama d'Aqua, and neither do you.
Of course he doesn't. He's deaf.
Повернуть голову на звук.
Oh no. The sound. It's moving away. Somewhere over there. Go after it. No. Too late. It's gone. There is no ringing anymore. Just the sound of the streets.
Нет, вернись, прошу тебя.
Keep your ears peeled, then. If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure to hear it again.
Так, каким-то образом появилась новая мысль. Кстати, этот тип теперь, получается, пропал. Я, вышел, что-то так, не подумав. А, его больше здесь нет. То есть все? Я упустил броню, получается. Быть-то не может того. Ты слышишь журчание воды. Кто-то моет посуду. А, он, значит, дома.
The door is closed again. Nothing to do here anymore. You hear someone inside, walking from room to room. Whoever lives here must be back home. The door is closed again. Nothing to do here anymore. You hear someone inside, walking from room to room. Whoever lives here must be back home.
И чё? Я с ним не поговорю больше? У меня же квест висит. Или он просто так и будет висеть? Так, ладно, давайте на сегодня закончим. Надеюсь, что Не буду делать такие большие паузы между играми. Блин, это игра, где надо немножко погружаться и читать. Погружаться в историю и читать, а иногда это просто нет сил делать. Иногда проще даже там задрачивать какого-нибудь босса в Секиро, и там хотя бы тело работает, а здесь голова. Голова уставшая. Ну ладно, надеюсь, в общем, сможем продолжить завтра или послезавтра. Ну так у нас еще много всяких зацепок, много какие квесты мы можем еще продолжить, поэтому есть чем заняться. Все, увидимся в следующем видео. Пишите комментарии, советы. В архивное видео на YouTube. Всем пока.